Welcome to Reverent and Rebellious, a safe space for faith-based conversations on the things that nobody seems to want to talk about these days. We are reverent, we value truth, we elevate scripture, but we are also rebellious. We shatter myths and we destroy dogma, so jump in. Join us, Logan, Pat, and me, the brother Peter, as we get reverent and we get rebellious.
What's up?
Not the Mariners.
Oh man, I don't even want to talk about it.
Peter was drying his eyes when he walked in tonight.
It's just
It was a sad day.
He doesn't have his jersey on.
no, I do not.
Logan and I were talking before we got started about how we haven't watched baseball in years.
Yep.
And then we got sucked in on the hopes of the Mariners.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
I know.
Yeah, and
I
then
know.
That's why they lost.
It might have been.
It probably was because we watched.
Yeah.
You know.
If you guys would have just stayed out of the mix.
Yeah,
then,
we should have stayed out of it.
Baseball is the most superstitious sport of all.
It is.
No doubt.
Like I got tickled watching, which Marcy was watching some of it with me. And we don't watch baseball. And so she's watching it with me, and and then even my son, my kids were watching some of it. And my son's like, man, they spit a lot. Because it's just every time they're spitting, they're chewing gum. And I'm like, well, a lot of them maybe, because Marcy was like, that dude, what has he got in his mouth? I'm like, well, that's probably chewing tobacco.
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife was, she's like, see, why don't we watch baseball? I understand this sport.
Yeah.
I don't understand football. You know, there's too many rules. And I was like, how dare you?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually enjoyed watching baseball more than I did football. Because I was like, and the pacing, I'm like, I didn't feel like I had been watching a game for 3 hours. But football, I just feel like that I do. And I think it's like the timeouts and it just kind of slows it down for me. Baseball was kind of like boom. And then every now and then it'd be freaking 3 up, 3 out. And it's like, well, all right, there goes that inning.
Exactly. Exactly. There goes that season.
Yes.
Man,
yes.
I have been a baseball fan since I was 7 years old. So that is, how many years is that? That is 55 years.
55 years of wanting to see the Mariners get into the World Series.
Well, that's the thing is the Mariners have been in existence for 48 years. This is year 48. And I was at the second game that they ever played in 1977.
Now, didn't you just go to one of their games? Didn't you go when you were
I went
out?
to a playoff game. Yeah, against the Detroit Tigers, and we won.
There you go. You should have been at Game 7.
See, you know what? It's your fault.
It is.
You should have been there.
I should have flown
You were
to
the
Toronto.
bad juju.
I know.
Yes, you should have flown to Toronto.
Who needs a session meeting? Just go to the games.
Man, okay, so let me tell you the story.
All right.
Okay, so we moved from the mountains of Oregon to Washington State when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
So, the school that I went to in Oregon was just a rural, out in the middle of nowhere school. It was right almost on the church property, so I could just walk to school.
Yeah.
And there was one teacher for every 2 grades.
Oh, wow.
Nope, there was no kindergarten, so you just went to school in first grade. So first and second had one teacher, so on and so forth.
Wow.
And so,
how many kids would be in a class?
yeah, probably
4?
15.
Yeah.
2 grades.
In 2 grades.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and the 5th and 6th grade teacher was also the principal.
Okay.
And so they had a receptionist who was also the librarian. Mm-hmm. So the school,
They were multitaskers.
they employed 5 people, including the cook.
Yeah.
And
she also taught something else.
Recess.
probably
School nurse as well.
Exactly. So we moved to Washington State, and now I'm in to me it's the big city.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to this school. I don't know anybody. I am lost as a goose. And this one kid, his name was Jack Fisher. He
How old are you?
me. I'm 7.
Okay.
Yeah. 7. I'm in 3rd grade. And Jack Fisher befriends me. And so we're hanging out on the playground and stuff like that. I go over to his house once or twice.
Yeah.
And so he comes to school one day and he says, hey, for my birthday, we're going to go see the minor league team play. It was the Tacoma Twins at the time, I think it was. And he said, I get to take someone with me. Do you want to go? And I was like, Yeah, I don't know. Well, and so they come and pick me up, and we go to this stadium. I've never been in a stadium before.
Yeah.
So we walk up the ramp and we walk through the little opening, and it's just like I'm in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, the grass is perfect. It so captured my attention that I was a baseball fan.
That solidified you.
That was it.
That's awesome.
And in the summertime, I used to have to work in the berry fields, pick berries, pick strawberries in June, raspberries in July, blueberries in August.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And so I get home about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then we'd eat supper. And it's the Pacific Northwest. You don't have air conditioning. Mm-hmm. Nobody does. And so it'd be a hot spell. So my brother and I would sleep out in the little camping trailer that we had.
Yeah.
So right after supper, I would go out to the camping trailer. I had this little miniature deck of playing cards and a radio. And so I would put that radio on, turn on the ball game, and play solitaire.
That's cool.
To the ball game all night long until it was over. But here's what I didn't know until it's like one season they said, "Hey, we're going to do something different this year. This is really cool because the announcers are going to get to travel with the team this year, so they won't have to recreate the broadcast."
Yeah.
And I'm like, recreate what? And
so it wasn't live broadcast that you were listening to?
They had sound effects.
Oh, wow.
and the play-by-play would come to them on a ticker, like paper.
Yeah.
And they would read it. They go, and it's 1-1. Oh, here comes a strike. It's a little bit outside. And they push the little crowd button. And then they have the bat hitting the ball. And,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And they would recreate this whole game just sitting there.
Dang.
I know.
But the whole time you thought they were there.
Oh yeah, I was like, I have been fooled. I have been duped.
Those dudes are sitting in like a little camper trailer too.
That's exactly right. I've been betrayed this whole time. So
wow.
And then when the Mariners came in 1977, it's like I got to go.
Yeah.
And the first game was sold out, and so we had a little church group that went to the second game, and I got to see that.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Dang, well, I wish you could have seen them go to the World Series.
What I really wanted was Mariners and the Brewers, because the Brewers were originally the Seattle Pilots.
Oh, so there'd been some history there.
1969. They only spent one season in Seattle, and the owner moved them to Milwaukee. And we filed a lawsuit, which was why we got the expansion team in 1977.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
They just liked bad beer.
Yeah, that's exactly
He wanted
right.
some Milwaukee's best.
Oh my God, Milwaukee's beast is.
So when we just lost the last 6 viewers that were tuning in.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
I want to tell you, it's funny because, like I said, I have been one. And I may have even told y'all this. I'm like, if I'm having trouble sleeping, I would turn on baseball.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I would tell people that. Yeah. So like for the listener that's listening, they're like, man, I don't care about baseball. Like I was the same way, but the circumstances were right.
I got sucked in, man.
You have something invested. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I used to say baseball's not a real sport.
Yeah,
because there's no contact. I was like, it's not a real sport. And then Peter's all like, oh, no, Mariners.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, let me check this out. And then next thing I'm like, oh my God, like
hanging on every pitch.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God.
Did you play anybody?
I played 2 seasons.
Yeah,
I did.
Could you hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball?
I could not. Absolutely.
But he could throw one.
I actually was a good hitter.
Yeah,
I was a good hitter. I was not fast at all. I could not run. So I played first base a lot, and you have to run.
Well, did you hear? I heard them say on that Naylor that plays for them. They said he's the second slowest person in the league. What a terrible! And
I'm
gonna be honest with you. That's pretty bad. Whenever I saw what that dude Kirk looked like, I'm like, you mean that dude's faster than this guy?
But yet Naylor had 30 stolen bases.
Yeah.
I know.
It was the shoes.
Must be the shoes.
Yeah.
PF Flyers.
That dude he's crazy good. I hope they keep him around.
Yeah.
He's a free agent this year, but I hope they sign him.
Gotcha. Well, guys, here's what we want y'all to do. We don't want y'all to be free agents. We want you to stick around.
That's exactly right.
So we need you to hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below. Let us know if you don't give 2 craps about baseball.
Yeah.
And
you know what's funny?
We want you to first leave us 5 stars on Apple and on Spotify.
That's it.
And then you can hear what Pat thinks is funny.
Don't strike out.
That's right.
Alan that watches the show, he played baseball with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He's from
from that area, Fresno. Yeah.
Well, he's got. Wait a minute, I'm thinking of Fultz, Aaron Fultz.
No, I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Gotcha.
You know, the Packers quarterback.
Yeah. I was still thinking baseball world. Yeah. Gotcha.
Well, he played baseball too, and like I said, he played baseball with Alan.
Yeah. Nice. That's pretty awesome. Well, Alan, still waiting on you to come out here.
Yeah, Alan.
Don't strike out.
So what are we talking about today?
There it is. Yeah.
That's what the Blue Jays were doing last night.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, man. I had to turn that off. I couldn't handle it.
All right. Give us that. You got a funny thing to tell us, don't you?
Canadians gloating.
I know. Yeah. Yes, that's all right. The Dodgers are going to beat them to death now.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay. So a man calls a company and orders their 5-day, 10-pound weight loss program.
Okay.
So the next day, there's a knock on the door, and there stands before him a voluptuous, athletic 19-year-old babe dressed in nothing but a pair of Nike running shoes and a sign around her neck. She introduces herself as a representative of the weight loss company, and the sign reads, "If you can catch me, you can have me." So without a second thought, he takes off after her. A few miles later, huffing and puffing, he finally gives up. The same girl shows up for the next 4 days, and the same thing happens. And on the 5th day, he weighs himself and is delighted to find that he's lost 10 pounds, as promised. So he calls the company and orders their 5-day, 20-pound program. Next day, you know what happens. There's a knock at the door. There stands the most stunning and beautiful woman he has ever seen in his life. She's got a sign around her neck that says, "If you can catch me, you can have me." Well, he's out the door after her like a shot. The girl is in excellent shape, and he does his best, but no such luck. Next 4 days, same routine. He's gradually getting in better and better shape. And much to his delight, on the 5th day, he weighs himself. Another 20 pounds gone. It's awesome. And so he decides to just go for broke. He calls the company to order the 7-day, 50-pound program.
Oh, man.
And the guy says, "Are you sure about this?" He says, "This is our most rigorous program." He says, "Absolutely. I haven't felt this good in years." So the next day, there's a knock at the door, and when he opens it, he finds a huge, hairy, muscular guy standing there wearing nothing but pink running shoes and a sign around his neck that says, "If I catch you, you are mine." He lost 63 pounds that week.
That'll do it.
I had a feeling. I was like, "This is where this is going."
You could kind of
that'll do it.
that one.
He's going to get chased. Yeah, that would do it.
If I catch you, you're mine.
You're mine.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, we got a fun one tonight.
Yes, we do. We're just gonna riff a little bit on this because what we're going to talk about today is a kind of an under the radar celebration, but it happens every year. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's
right around this time of year too.
Yes, it is. It's called the Day of the Dead. Have you ever had any run-ins with the Day of the Dead?
I've seen some stuff online, but I did get some funny or some interesting, creepy information on it.
Okay. Awesome.
You want to share it?
Yeah, go ahead. Day of the Dead, just so you know, is a lot of people call it Mexican Halloween.
Yeah,
but that's not true. It really is not anything like Halloween.
They basically just dig up their dead relatives and dress them up and put them around town.
Kind of, sort of.
It's Weekend at Bernie's.
I thought it was the George Romero movie.
I was going to say, because it is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah. Peter has seen that.
I have not seen that.
17 times.
No. I'll tell you, the first run-in I had with the Day of the Dead is I was living in Nashville. I had only lived there for a little while, and there's this sort of district in Nashville called Green Hills, and it's kind of
it was Sunday, and it was an ARP church, and you went in to preach.
That's exactly right. Yes, absolutely. That's what it was. No, man, it was. I used to go down there the only coffee shop. This was before Starbucks, was everywhere. So the only coffee shop where I could get a decent cup of coffee was in Green Hills District. And so they have little antique shops and, knickknacks and all this stuff. It's way too overpriced, but I used to go through and sort of look at all this stuff. And I wandered into this place that had a lot of cool stuff. And in one whole corner, they had this huge display, and it was nothing but skeletons and, dead people. And they were all dressed in like super colorful everything. And I'm going like, who would buy this sort of stuff? I mean, this is like the weirdest thing I ever saw. And the guy says, "Oh no, that's for Day of the Dead." It's like, That's all you need to tell me. I'm gone. I don't want to know anymore.
So that's not where you got your purple jacket from.
No, it is not. No, not there. Not there. But it always intrigued me after that. And so I did a little digging. And then, this week I did a little more digging.
Yeah.
And there's some fascinating stuff. So tell us your little tidbits. Get us started here.
All right. So the first one here, and again, like you said, it's very Mexican, like holiday kind of thing. It says, so according to Mexican folklore, the veil between the living and the dead is thinnest on November 1st and 2nd.
Right.
It's said that if you speak aloud to your departed loved ones at midnight on the Day of the Dead, they can actually hear you, but only for that one night. Some families even whisper secrets or prayers at their altars, believing the words cross the veil.
Okay.
That is true.
Another one, the spirits follow the scent of marigolds. The bright orange Mexican marigold, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of that, is not just decoration. It's believed the pungent smell guides spirits back to the world of the living.
That's exactly right. In fact, they will make pathways with marigolds on both sides.
Yep.
All right, Logan, as a prank, we need to get a bunch of marigolds and put them on Peter's porch.
Yes. Well, that's what it says here. Old tale says if you see a marigold petal move when there's no wind, it's the spirit of a loved one walking.
There you go.
Peter might get Michael Heiser at his house.
Yes.
I would be okay with that.
La Catrina. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, we're going to get into La Catrina. Yeah.
All right, it says there, so I won't spoil all that, but it says, so y'all get to hear more about it, but, I can't really share. I can't share it. It'll give it away.
I thought this was an Aztec belief.
Well, we're going to get into that too.
Okay.
Because it started way, way, way back then.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it started with the Aztecs.
Yeah.
In small villages like Mixquic and Petsacuaro, people camp out in cemeteries overnight, and hundreds of candles are lit among the tombs. The entire graveyard glows, literally flickering with firelight and drifting smoke.
Okay.
And it says if you listen closely around 3 a.m., you can hear faint footsteps or laughter, and that's the souls visiting their old friends.
There you go.
Let's see. I'll give you one more good one here. Okay, here you go. There are 3 deaths. So the Mexican tradition says a person dies 3 times. When the body stops living, when the body is buried or cremated, and when their name is spoken for the last time. That's why the Day of the Dead exists, to make sure that the third death never happens.
Ah, okay. That's a good piece of the puzzle there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It gives me a lot of Achilles vibes. Achilles was like very conflicted in the battle of like with Troy and all the battles there because he wanted to go to war, but his mother, she's like a goddess or something, and she tells him that if you go to war, your name will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
But if you go to war, you will never return because you'll die.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she says, if you stay, then you get to...
You'll turn to dust and nothing will happen.
Yeah, she's like, you'll live. Well, she said, you'll live, you'll find someone, you'll probably have family, but no one will remember your name. So then he goes to war and he dies in war, but his name lived on. So it kind of gives me some Achilles vibes.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
The
Iliad.
What was he, the demigod? He was a demigod.
He was. His mother was a goddess. His father was...
Zeus or one of them or something?
No, his father was a man.
I thought his father was a god.
No, his mother was a goddess.
Okay.
And she dipped him in the river Styx.
And she held him as Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Achilles heel.
And then that wiener head from Troy shoots him right in the Achilles with the arrow.
That's what always happens.
Paris.
Yep, Paris. Because he had already slaughtered Hector at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, Hector got owned.
Have you seen that movie?
I'm lost.
I'm going to tell you now, that Troy,
yeah,
it is a great movie.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Iliad is actually what it's based off of.
It is, yeah. Or the Odyssey. It depends on which one you want to go with.
Yeah.
But I think it's based off the Iliad.
But either way, his name, he wanted his name to live on.
That's my favorite role Brad Pitt was in.
That's a good one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is mine, but that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Peter he's just like, what are we talking about?
I know Thelma and Louise.
He was in that. He was in that. Okay.
That was his breakout.
I know.
Yeah.
That was his first time he really,
5 points for Peter.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Yeah.
So did you know the 3 deaths? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know about that.
That's an interesting thing to think about. That your third death is the last time someone ever speaks your name. Isn't that that's kind of a heavy thing to think about?
So isn't that saying that Achilles is, as we're still talking about him right now,
He still lives on.
Still lives on.
Yep. It is.
See, who else can we conjure up?
That's right.
Yeah.
But
so basically your third death is your legacy.
It is. And I mean, that would be, they're essentially saying at that point, no one remembers you.
Yeah.
That's kind of a heavy thought.
Yeah, but what if you're Hitler?
Yeah, he might
see
live
what you
on.
just did there?
See?
You're keeping that man
Stop
alive.
that. Yeah.
Well, I
No.
mean, I'm sorry, third grade history teachers.
Look, I just want y'all to know if I die somehow early, I just want y'all to pull my corpse out every year.
That's right.
And if y'all keep doing the podcast, you can just set me in the chair here. You got to stick
right.
a cigarette in my mouth.
I'll say LH. Oh, LH over there, man.
Yeah.
Pat's going to intentionally let my spirit die. That's what it is.
So technically, this is the name is Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Day of the Dead.
That sounds cool.
It really does.
It is cool, honestly. This is a joyful family reunion where the living believe their deceased loved ones return for a visit. The tone is celebration, not mourning. So yes, let's get all the way back to the origins. Way back in the Aztec cultures, they had a month-long festival honoring. And I practiced this word, so
all right.
it might take me a couple of times. Mictlantecuhtli.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Mictlantecuhtli. Yeah. The Lady of the Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and like that's a big thing. If you just Google that or YouTube it, it just everything pops up.
Yeah.
The Lady of the Dead.
You've seen the image, I'm sure, because it's the color doesn't she have all the imagery like on her face? Is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah. This is the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if most of you Google this, you will probably have seen it depicted somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different versions of it. This was my favorite.
Peter has a full back piece tattoo of her.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. I'm on phase 1. It's going to take 9 months.
Yeah. If you've seen The Lone Ranger, imagine Johnny Depp as a female.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's really cool looking though. They believe that death wasn't an ending, but a continuation. That souls journeyed through 9 levels of the underworld.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah,
it's busy.
Is this like Dante's Inferno?
Kind of, sort of, but I don't think it descends like Dante's Inferno.
Okay.
I think it's just there are 9 sort of phases of the underworld.
Gotcha.
It's kind of the feel that I got. I wanted to. I got a lot of these articles here because each one of them had something to contribute to it. This is mainly centralized in Mexico now because but it originated with the broader South American regions with where the Aztecs were and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But these days, in modern times, it includes a massive parade in Mexico City, typically beginning the night of October 31st, which is kind of where we get the idea of Mexican Halloween.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
With families sitting vigil at grave sites. Mexican tradition holds that on November 1st and 2nd, the dead awaken to reconnect and celebrate with their living family and friends. So here we go with Mictlantecuhtli. Can be traced back to the native peoples of central and southern Mexico. When the Spanish arrived in central Mexico 500 years ago, the region had millions of indigenous inhabitants. The conquistadors just called them all Aztecs.
Yeah.
It's like all of them are Aztecs. And they had a legit empire. So we're talking 1400s, something like that.
Yeah.
They had that thing. So by the time the Spanish conquistadors invaded in 1519, the Aztecs recognized a wide pantheon of gods, which included the goddess of death and the underworld, Mictlantecuhtli. I'm getting better at saying
you
that.
are. You just flows now.
It kind of, yeah. So she was celebrated through the entire 9th month of the Aztec calendar, a 20-day month that corresponded roughly to late July and early August.
Lord, she had a lot of celebration.
Yes, a whole month.
Seems a little excessive.
In their mythology, it says that she was sacrificed as a baby and magically grew to adulthood in the underworld where she married. With her husband, she presided over the underworld. She is often depicted with flayed skin and a gaping skeletal jaw, and she was linked to both death and resurrection.
Sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is that, are we talking hell underworld, or what is their view
just
of
the
this?
place of the dead. It wasn't necessarily eternal conscious torment or anything like that. It was just the place, you just, when you die, that's where you go.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so she was part of they did fear the underworld gods. Because they could come and get you or get your children or, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they would appease these fearsome underworld gods by burying their dead with food and precious objects. So when they got there, they'd have a gift to give,
Yeah.
They don't know a lot about the month-long celebration of Mictlantecuhtli, but they say that it likely involved burning incense, song and dance, and blood sacrifices.
Oh, of what?
Either animal blood or perhaps human blood, some sort of blood, that kind of thing. So
they didn't like murder someone to put them in there.
maybe they did.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not really sure, but they saw death as cyclical, not linear. So the dead remained part of the community, just in a different realm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so this was the idea that they would keep their memory alive, to keep them alive in the spiritual world.
This got me thinking.
What
if these people are like dead and they're like, why won't they just let me be dead? And they just keep coming back. And they're
Stop saying my name so I can go to
it's
heaven.
like, would you quit saying my name? I'm ready to just fully be dead.
I know. I'm going to change my name.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the wild thing about it. Okay, so this month-long celebration was somewhere around July and August.
Yeah.
Summertime, right?
Okay.
Hot, everything. Well, the Spanish invaders of Mexico were Catholic. And they, of course, were going to colonize and evangelize. That's what they were.
All Souls Day.
Well, here we go. It says to stamp out lingering indigenous beliefs, they demolished religious temples, burned indigenous idols, and destroyed Aztec books. Because that's what good Christians do. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But the indigenous people in Mexico, and actually across South America, resisted Spanish efforts to eradicate their culture. And so they began to blend their own religious and cultural practices with those imposed on them by the Spanish. Okay, so interesting thing about this, apparently they were so persistent in keeping this tradition alive, and as they blended it with the Christian/Catholic traditions, they eventually, the Spanish people and the priests and all this stuff, they just got wore out. It's like
they were like, let them just have the dead day.
And so it's like, okay, well, we're not going to. And so they compromised by moving the indigenous festivities from late July to early November to correspond with All Hallowtide. This was a 3-day Christian observance of All Saints' Eve, All Saints' Day, and All Souls' Day. So this sort of nominally connected it to Catholicism.
It sounds like a good move, though, because I'm imagining temperatures be a little cooler in November. Yeah. And if you're going to have a bunch of dead bodies and corpses around, let's do it when it's a little cooler outside.
But, that's the funny thing about it is the, the Catholics, they were going like, okay, we're not going to get rid of this thing. So let's see. We already celebrate, and this was right around the time there were 2 different popes. I can't remember their names, but one of them originated All Saints' Day, and that was supposed to be a celebration of a commemoration of the martyrs, the Christian martyrs who died. So there would be All Saints' Eve, and then it would carry over into All Saints' Day, typically on a Sunday. And I think we even all do that kind of today. Yeah. And then All Souls' Day came later with a different pope. And he just wanted the world to remember all of the Christians who had died. So All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day. So they were like, well, we're kind of celebrating dead people. So why don't we just, kind of blend all these things together? And so it became kind of, I guess that's when the name kind of changed. And, it's like, well, let's just call it the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
All Saints' Day was Pope Gregory IV.
Okay. And what about All Souls' Day?
Wait one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Dia de los Muertos.
Uh-huh.
This is cool sounding.
Dead, the mortal.
Makes me think of Vaya con Dios.
Yes, exactly.
Come on, Pat. What is it, man?
I'm looking, man. You gotta calm down.
Our listeners are wondering what's this pause and silence.
Yeah, he can't find it.
I'm looking.
Young Jamie would have found it, Pat.
Well, yeah. There we go. Let's see here.
The art is some of the coolest parts of it.
It is absolutely the cool parts of it.
You just see, I feel like you see a lot of folks with the woman image tattooed. Like there's a lot of tattoos of that. What'd they call her?
La Katrina.
La Katrina.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to get into La Katrina in a minute.
Pope Benedict 15th.
Okay.
There you go. That's what I was going to say.
Right. I thought it was the 13th, but apparently it's the 15th.
Yeah, you should have known that.
I know. But the interesting thing is, now we're going to talk a little bit about all of the the stuff that goes with it. Okay, so let's just talk about that now. Okay, so we talked about the marigolds.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're called flowers of the dead. Their bright color and strong scent guide the spirits home. Lots of candles. You got to light the way for the returning souls to find their way.
I mean, you think they've probably been in the dark. It's been real dark in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, they can't see, so their eyes ain't quite as good. They're adjusting. So.
They're in the underworld, man. They got to, they got to figure it out.
Down there. So.
I'm sure. Well, and so they also use a lot of incense.
Yeah.
Because it purifies the space and it carries the prayers upward.
That's right.
They have water. They have like jugs and pitchers of water.
Yeah.
Purification, preservation. Then they will make the deceased person's favorite meal. And so whatever your favorite meal is, I'll make sure and, make you a hot dog or something.
There you go. Yes. Boy, I'd be pissed if I came back from the dead and that was my welcome meal with some hot dogs.
I know.
Hey, we didn't want to go overboard. We grilled you some hot dogs.
And they also make this bread. It's called pan de muerto, bread of the dead.
Bread dead.
And it's a sweet roll, but it's kind of like hot cross buns, only it's decorated with bones.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah, you need to. It's really cool. And also, while you're looking that up, look up the burnt sugar skulls. They're called calaveras, and they make these skulls out of sugar. It's hardened sugar, and it's decorated with bright icing, often with names written on the forehead.
Is it like one of these?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, burnt like that.
Yeah, that's a calaveras. They have them everywhere. And this is a lot of what I saw in this little store was all of these skulls. Just like,
you were like, "What is this voodoo?"
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm seeing right
I know.
here.
And why would people pay $15 for this thing?
It's got a very voodoo look to it, kind of.
It really does. And you see some of those that are etched in stone. They would have, if you had, like a place where you would celebrate this, a lot of that would be permanently. A lot of skulls.
Yeah, it's a wall-mounted sugar skull Calavera Dia de los Muertos.
There it is.
$287 for that skull.
Oh, man.
Then we start engraving some skulls.
Absolutely.
All right, that one's pretty cool looking.
I know, that's pretty bad. I like it.
Yeah. You need that in your office.
Probably do. I probably do. I could say, what is it? To be or not to be.
Cool little Shakespeare on them.
And here's the cool thing too. They would if they smoked, they would bring their favorite cigarettes. If they drank, they would bring their favorite tequila.
Hey, all right. So there might be some hope for me.
They would bring toys for deceased children.
Okay.
They would bring tools if they were craftsmen. So all of this stuff, they would make they will make the pathway of marigolds. They have candles, they have incense, water, salt is used for preservation.
Yeah.
They have the deceased favorite meal along with the pan de muerto, the calaveras, the sugar skulls, and all of the personal items. They just like go all out and make a little shrine kind of thing.
What if you're a jerk? Do they just bring like preparation H?
I don't think they will invite you back. Yeah, you're kind of a beehole, you know? Yeah. So yeah. I don't know if they do that or not.
All right, so at least I know that I'll get to pass on past third death.
Well, see, there you go.
See?
There you go.
See, I'm winning.
But then they will go to the cemeteries.
Yeah.
And they will do grave cleaning. They will clean and decorate grave sites days before this happens.
Well,
there's nice. There's your image of some of the graveyards.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's like lit up everywhere.
Yeah. There's definitely some elements of it that's kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Agree.
Like
I agree.
I kind of like that kind of cool. It's just got a cool vibe to it. I mean, look at it. Like it's like they said, it's like a glowing cemetery.
Yeah, they literally go all out for this thing.
Yeah.
They will have all-night vigils on November 1st and 2nd. They will picnic at the graves. They'll stay overnight at the graves. They eat, they drink, they tell stories, they dance, they play music. And they take the marigold petals and they make a pathway from the cemetery to the homes to guide the spirits to the place where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And some will ring bells to welcome the souls. And then in many of the others, they have just big giant parades, costume dancers and everything.
They build private altars.
Mm-hmm. Right, with their favorite food.
Yeah,
and
food, beverages, photos, memorabilia.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And it's encouraged. It's intended to encourage visits by the soul,
right? So
the souls will hear the prayers of the words of the living directed to them.
That's exactly right.
There's your marigold path.
Yeah, I know. It's like how many marigolds does it take?
Food, yeah. I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of marigolds. I mean, the path. It ain't like I just kind of envision like a sprinkling of marigold petals. No, it's like. Again, our audience
6 feet wide.
Yeah, y'all need to Google this stuff kind of because it's very fascinating to see this. Because this is like that's a thick path. Like even this one's a little thinner. That's still a lot of marigold petals.
4 feet wide, and it's got candles on both sides.
Yeah. You can tell there's a lot of time that goes into this.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
There's one of the So here is the altar, or the place where they put all the stuff. It's called the ofrenda. The ofrenda, yeah. This article says, in many ways, the ofrenda is what the whole celebration is about.
Okay.
So after they sort of blended these European and they call it Mesoamerican Aztec influences, let me get past all this stuff we already covered here. The ofrenda. They say they combine the practice of making food offerings to the deceased and crafting figurines sculpted from food as representations of the dead, making these offerings. They combine that with the commemorative idea that we're remembering souls.
So what if they catch somebody like slipping some of the food off of them?
I don't know what happened.
I wonder what they would do.
Because if I was a kid and there was some good food on there, I probably would try to.
And you would be like, hell, they're dead anyways. What difference does it make?
Yeah, but are they really?
I know, and they probably really believe. Do they really believe that they communicate with the dead?
Yeah,
this is
they really do.
A common format for the ofrenda contains 3 levels or tiers. The topmost tier identifies the dead person who is being invited to the altar, frequently with photos of the deceased.
Yeah, they do put up photos too. Yeah.
Along with images of various saints, statuettes of the Virgin Mary, crucifix, etc.
Wow, that is a blend.
Which are positioned in a retablo, which forms the back of the altar. On the second tier are things placed to encourage the dead to feel at home and welcome. The deceased person's favorite food, things we've talked about here. For disease, that goes on about alcohol.
All the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so this goes into a little more detail. What were you going to say?
Is this dark magic?
See, this is what we're going to get into in a minute.
Okay.
It's sort of the pros and cons about this.
I was going to say, it seems like they're meddling. I mean, because in a way, I almost feel like you're trying to be a medium or it's like playing with a Ouija board in a way, I feel like.
I think there is definitely an element of that to it, especially if you're to take it too far. Now, it does, there is a parallel, I think, to our Halloween thing and how we feel about it, because there's been this video going around in the last few days. This big time Satanist got saved. Oh
no, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he was like a big deal. He's got this tattoo all the way down his forehead and over his nose and everything. It looks scary.
I may have seen something on that.
Yeah, that's happened like maybe a year or two ago.
Okay, I got you. I thought you meant like in the last week.
No, he's released a video. It's a podcast interview that somebody did with him, and he was talking about how Halloween is like the most satanic day ever. Like if you're going out in your neighborhood, there's satanic activity. Just the spirit world is alive with demonic activity.
Yeah.
And it was basically, really striking fear into the hearts of all the Christians and
so reigniting the satanic panic.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm not going to disagree with this guy. I mean, he obviously,
he probably knows Satan pretty well.
Probably they're on a first name basis at some point. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's kind of in how you think about it, how you observe it, how, and I get the same kind of vibe with this.
Yeah.
Like, I'll bet there's some people that really take it seriously.
Some people will just have a good time with it. They're like, hey, this is a heritage thing.
Yeah. We get to eat some cool bread.
We get to eat bread. We don't really think Uncle Tim is going to come back.
I know.
Yeah. Give me some hot cross buns.
Yeah, that's right. So this goes into a little more detail on the ofrenda.
Okay.
It says it's a simple concept. It consists of a set of items that will identify the person to whom it is dedicated, along with the staples of the celebration. So the pan de muerto, we talked about that. Sugary pastry adorned with bone and skull shapes, and marigold petals, all this stuff. But then the items that identify the person will include photographs, personal items that belong to them, but also their favorite food, so on and so forth. They're commonly built on a table, which is adorned with a tablecloth and china paper cut in patterns.
So origami.
Yeah, something like that. Only that's an Asian word. So they call it. It says standard altar will more or less be something like this. A table will be set up, if possible, with 2 levels by using a smaller flat surface on top, like a shelf.
Yeah.
All of that will be covered on a bright colored tablecloth adorned with china paper cut in different patterns.
Origami senor.
Yes. Origami. On the higher up section, photographs of the person will be placed along with their belongings, indicating that the offerings are meant for them.
Yeah. Okay.
So, interesting enough, it's November 1st, November 2nd. November 1st is mostly dedicated to deceased children and infants.
Okay. So they got the days kind of split up.
So their altars will feature toys, candy, white flowers. This says it is in some places they are even remembered separately as angelitos, little angels.
Okay.
But then the overall ritual remains unchanged. The lower portion of the altar is where the offerings are placed. Food is placed here. Traditional Mexican cuisine like tamales and mole, but also fruit such as oranges and sugarcane. And then, of course, on the adult day, there'll be, cigarettes and alcohol and, things like that, according to their tastes.
Yeah.
And then there's the calaveritas de azúcar, the sugar skulls, and the pan de muerto. So you can picture this. You got a giant table, colored tablecloth, got a shelf up here. This is all the personal belongings and the photographs.
Okay.
And then you've got all of the food and all of the, tools, toys, whatever on the bottom level. That's your thing, all elevated.
Yeah.
That sounds a little weird to me.
Yeah. I got you the layout. Your beer and your toot would be on the middle there.
That's exactly right. but I'm just kind of picturing this. Okay, so this is like your household. Okay, so it's like kids get together. The Day of the Dead's coming up, so let's figure out how we want to do it this year. And it's like, well, Grandma's going to make the sugar skulls, and then we're going to go out and pick all the marigolds. Well, we don't have enough marigolds. Let's go to the marigold farm and cut down some marigolds.
Ben's going to go get some cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly.
He really liked them laced with a little something, so he's going to get the special ones.
You got to get them left-handed cigarettes.
And then I think I still got a half a bottle of that tequila back in the pantry. Let's get that out too, and then somebody go get the box of photographs from last year. It's like it's almost like we would decorate our Christmas tree or something like that.
It is,
it's wild.
And then it's like you go out in the backyard or you go into the cemetery or whatever. You build your pathway, and
it's a lot to this.
Your altar all set up and everything like that.
It's safe to say these people hold a grudge.
Man, I mean,
think about it. If they're doing this in remembrance of someone, if you ever hurt them, oh my God! 4 centuries later, they're going to come wipe you out.
Yeah, it's true.
it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Wow.
Well, that's what I'm thinking of the preparation that goes into this.
That's a lot, man.
And then they in some of the bigger cities, they kick it off on the 31st of October with this huge parade.
Yeah.
So it's like we would do the Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade.
They're doing a bunch of dead people out there.
Where everybody's
they got a big blow up dead person.
Exactly. Oh, there's Grandpa. Look.
It just slowly deflates over the days.
Yeah. So, okay. So sometimes they will inject other kinds of meaning. For instance, more recently, the Dead Parade in Mexico City was as a whole dedicated to the victims of the 2017 earthquake as a form of collective ofrenda.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So have you ever seen the movie Coco?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because it's the little Day of the Dead looking chick in there.
Yeah, it's a whole.
It's a kid's animated movie.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's all about the Day of the Dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miguel is the primary character, and he wants to be a musician, but his mother's forbade him to pursue music.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah,
It's not a very. I mean, it's just a few years old, I think, ain't it?
It's more than that. It was like 17, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's 7 or 8 years old.
Oh wait, is this
Yeah.
the Disney movie?
Yep.
Yeah, the Pixar thing.
Yeah.
Did I watch that?
Yeah. Your child has probably seen it.
Probably, but I don't remember seeing it.
So, also, this is where it kind of gets into the La Katrina thing. La Katrina. In fact, I got a whole article on the origin of La Katrina, and it is quite an interesting story. Now, La Katrina is an elegant skeleton lady in fancy dress. And she is kind of the Lord of the Day of the Dead celebration. She is the iconic figure, the Santa Claus, if you will.
Gotcha.
Everybody knows about La Katrina.
La Katrina.
La Katrina. And you can look up pictures of her too. She's quite elaborate. And it's wild because, most of the younger people just assume that La Katrina has been around since the days of the Aztecs.
Yeah.
But that is not true. She is a very late arriver to the whole party here. In fact,
I figured she had been around the whole time.
Nope.
You know what vibe I get immediately? Beetlejuice.
For sure.
Well, when we mentioned the name thing, that also popped in my head because you got to say Beetlejuice's
3
name.
times,
I forgot about that.
I wonder if Tim Burton based it off that.
Could be.
It could be because he kind of has a look about him too.
He kind of looks like Day of the Dead.
He does.
Yeah, he really does. So this is a very interesting story. I just wanted to read a little bit of this for you. This comes from this article. And it says, on April 13th, 1944, thousands of people clashed with police on the steps of the Art Institute of Chicago. How about that? There was all kinds of implications, World War II, all this kind of stuff. But it was unrelated to any of that stuff. It says a massive impatient art crowd overwhelmed the museum's capacity, causing mayhem. This is how desperately people wanted to see the U.S. premiere of an exhibition titled Posada, Printmaker to the Mexican People. So this Jose Guadalupe Posada was a Mexican engraver who had died in 1913. And he had created all of these calaveras, these
sugar skulls,
and a lot of relief work and artwork, and all these, and many of these he printed on cheap single sheet newspapers known as broadsides. And one specific calavera or skull attracted more attention than the others, known as La Katrina. She was a garish skeleton with a wide toothy grin and an oversized feathered hat. A large print of her hung on the museum's wall. That's the one everybody wanted to see.
Yeah.
And they caused an absolute throwdown over this thing at an art museum.
So that's what started it.
Today, La Katrina is Posada's most recognizable creation. She's the icon of the Day of the Dead. So,
Gotcha.
Interesting thing, when he first engraved her in 1912, she wasn't even called La Katrina. She was called Calavera Garbancera, a title used to refer to indigenous peasant women who sold garbanzo beans at the street markets. And so He dressed her up in ostentatious attire to satirize the way the Garbanceros attempted to pass as upper class by powdering their faces and wearing fashionable French attire.
Oh.
So they're trying to sort of elevate their look, you know, even though they were absolutely dirt poor.
Yeah.
And so
that's what I do.
I do too. So basically, he was kind of poking fun, a little satire, this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. The 1912 broadside of La Catrina was sold for a penny to primarily poor and working class men throughout Mexico City. Huh. So it was like nothing. Posada died broke and unknown, but his illustrations had an afterlife. His publisher reused them for other broadsides well into the 1920s. So this kind of went on and on for a while. Mm-hmm. In the mid-20s, his work drew the attention of French artist Jean Charlot, a leading figure in the Mexican Renaissance. So anyway, it just goes on about this. He saw these illustrations around Mexico City, but he didn't know who created them. So he went on this expedition. He tracked down the publisher, began researching Posada, and then all of a sudden it just blew up. And so by the 40s, La Catrina was well known, was in an art exhibition, and then became the iconic figure of the Day of the Dead.
So is this similar to like when Robert Frost produced Santa Claus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and way back when. Yeah,
like
it was just it was a little. It was, I don't remember. Actually, it wasn't. It was another name, but it was a cartoon for an advertisement.
Right.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, it just
blew up
because of the poem, and then which became the song.
See, that's what.
Yeah, we did an episode on that.
Yeah, it kind of gives me that same vibe.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
I got a true recounting of one of a journalist experience in
Bless you.
Michoacan, Mexico.
Okay.
But it's a true recounting. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's not a tumor.
Do it.
All right. In the early 90s, a journalist named Elena Rivas traveled to the state of Michoacan. I don't know how you say it.
That one.
Michoacan.
Michigan,
Mexico. How you say that? Michoacan?
Something like that.
Traveled to the state of Michoacan, Mexico to document how the rural towns there celebrated the Day of the Dead. It was supposed to be a cultural story, history, heritage, and tradition, but what she witnessed that night has since become one of the eeriest first-hand accounts ever recorded during the holiday.
Wow.
So, Michoacan is the heart of the Day of the Dead. Small villages like Janitzio and Zidzunzan turn their cemeteries into seas of candlelight. Families gather around the graves, laying down marigolds, believed to guide the souls of the dead home. They set up, bring all that. Elena arrived on the evening of November 1st. She walked through narrow dirt paths between the graves, snapping photographs. Dozens of families smiled for her camera. Children asleep in their mother's arms, men drinking mezcal by the tombs. The air was alive with music, laughter, and the golden glow of thousands of candles. By midnight, the mood changed. One by one, families began to leave. The songs quieted, the air grew heavier as if the night itself was pressing down. Only a few villagers remained, the ones who said they always stayed until sunrise to keep the dead company. Elena decided to stay too. At around 2:45 a.m., the last song faded, and the only sounds were the distant croak of frogs and the whisper of wind through marigolds. And then came the first flicker. A candle on a nearby grave went out, and then another. A few of the locals murmured prayers saying, "Ya vienen," they're coming. The temperature dropped suddenly. Elena later described her camera lens fogging over, though the air had been dry all night. Then someone behind her whispered a name, soft, drawn out, the name of a man whose grave she'd photographed earlier. When she turned around, there was no one there. She tried to light one of the candles that had gone out, but the flame would not catch. The wick was wet. When she touched the wax, it was ice cold. Moments later, a faint sound moved through the cemetery, like feet shuffling in dry leaves. The villagers froze. One old man crossed himself and muttered, "No son vivos. They aren't the living."
Ooh.
Elena wrote in her notebook that she could feel movement behind her, but every time she turned, there was nothing, only shifting candlelight and the scent of marigold smoke. Then came the whisper again. This time, her own name. She fled before dawn, and when she returned later that morning to retrieve her gear, she found the candle she tried to light had burned halfway down, though she'd never gotten it lit. The grave beside it was covered in fresh marigold petals, though the wind had swept every other grave clean. She never wrote the travel piece she was sent for, but in a brief radio interview years later, she said only one thing about that night. I went to the cemetery to see how the living honor the dead, but when the candles went out, I realized they were honoring us too. It's pretty creepy.
What year was this?
This was
90s, right?
In the early 90s.
Wow.
Yep.
So, Logan, what do you want to do November 1st, man?
Looks like we're going to Michoacan.
Yeah, let's do it, man. It's interesting because this La Catrina, La Catrina's image is now used to sell anything from beer to Barbie dolls. You can order La Catrina costumes from Walmart and Spirit Halloween stores.
Checks out.
There you go.
Yeah, checks out.
Sounds
so
right.
maybe that's what one of your kids should be.
La Catrina.
Yeah, La Catrina.
I'll ask Emerson. She wants to be La Catrina.
I think it'd be good. She's like no, Dad.
They're afraid of anything scary. So I can only imagine like let's paint your face like a skeleton.
Yeah, that would go over really well, wouldn't it? So what do you think about this whole thing?
I believe it has credence as much as anything else does. You play dumb games, you win dumb prizes.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah, like regardless of where you fall with it, whether it's true, not, whatever, why risk it? Why go meddle with stuff that you don't? I don't understand.
See, here's what I wonder. I wonder if now clearly in Nashville, obviously they were selling this stuff, so somebody's celebrating it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's anything in our area, any Hispanic communities that are celebrating this.
Yeah, for sure. And also too, I wonder too how many people will buy stuff for like Halloween decorations and stuff like that, and how many people actually participate. You know, because we see this a lot. We'll see people dress up as stuff on Halloween, like a witch or something like that. They're not doing witchcraft; they're just gonna dress up as a witch. But then there's people who, full on Wiccan mode. You know, so it's very interesting to see.
Well, it would be interesting to find like a Mexican grocery store and see if they're selling stuff, because it's this time of year, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
See, the local nurseries are selling a lot of marigolds,
Right.
Well, San Antonio hosts what's described as the largest Dia de los Muertos celebration in the U.S., with citywide festivals, including a river parade along the Riverwalk and large-scale altars and a traditional trail.
Well, I mean, Texas is doing good financially. So.
San Antonio, Tucson, Chicago. Chicago's kind of surprising.
Yeah,
that is.
But yeah, that's so there's a few places in the U.S.
Interesting.
So, basically, if you want to talk about, kind of what it does for the community, this is kind of what, people who study social trends and things like that, they say that this is very important in this culture for grief processing. It provides a structured communal way to process loss, the opposite of America's move on quickly approach to death.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I don't hate that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that's good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do think that there is an element in the U.S. Well, everything. We want everything fast.
Yeah.
You want results fast. You want food fast. So, your grief should be fast.
Yep. You should just get over it.
Write in if any of you have any experience with any of this.
Yeah, that would be
because I'm
fascinating to know.
genuinely curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, and I think this is an important one, intergenerational connection.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is one thing that it's like you don't really know it's gone until you really think about it and you miss it. It's like we don't have a time set aside to sit with children, grandchildren, older people, and tell stories about how things used to be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if my kids know anything about how it all used to be.
Right.
And about certain, I knew my great grandfather.
I can remember specifically in my childhood of that time period being phased out, because I can remember when I was young, we would go sit with grandparents and stuff like that. And then as we got older, that kind of just faded away.
I know. And see, we used to, And I used to hate it because I would be, 6, 7, 8 years old, and it was just the most boring thing ever.
Right.
But we used to go visiting around the holidays.
Yeah.
My dad called it loafing.
Yeah, same kind of deal. And we'd go to Uncle Walt and Aunt Magnie's house.
Yep.
They lived in a trailer park, but it was a nice trailer park. They were old. They were retired.
Yeah.
And they always had, the only good thing about it was they had always a giant bowl of hard candy sitting on the coffee table. And we would sit, and my mom and dad would just talk to them forever and ever. And I was like, man, we can't touch anything. We can't do anything. It's nighttime. We can't go outside. They're in a trailer park. We can't go walking.
We can just sit here. We're prisoners.
Sit here.
Man.
But I did learn a lot of stories that I just absorbed over the years.
Well, that's what I have said. I wish, because my grandparents on my mother's side, they passed away when I was like really young. I think I was probably 5 or something. So I don't have a lot of memories on that with them. But my dad's parents, they did. I mean, they were up into my teens. But my dad's old shop, old men used to come up there. It was old. He had a garage auto parts store, and old dudes used to come up there and just drink coffee all day long. And they would just sit there and they would just talk. And I remember as a kid, I never appreciated it because I'm like, man. And it was always really cool. Later on, I'd find out, like, because these were old guys at the time that I can remember. They were probably in their 80s, and they're all dead now. But a bunch of them, they were probably, I mean, they might have been a machine gunner in World War II.
I know.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't know it.
Wouldn't know it.
That's exactly right.
And so I do like the the generational thing. Like, I think we've gotten away from learning, what is our heritage? What is our history?
And see, I wonder if part of that is like genetic, like it's just built into you to want that. Because like my daughter loves to go visit my grandmother. My grandmother's 93 years old.
Yeah.
And my daughter's 8.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of connection there, but she loves to go over there. Like she loves to go and just listen to my grandmother and stuff.
That's great.
And so, I kind of wonder if there's that yearning for yesterday to learn.
And here's something too. Is that these times that we, talk about all these things, they tend to get fewer and fewer the more and more people die.
Yeah,
that's true.
And this is a wild thing where, we're actually now focusing on the dead people.
Yeah.
And
your time's messed up.
Is it?
Yeah, because I just hit the button, so now I'm going to have 2 clips. So when you look at that, so I don't know if you noticed what time you were at.
I did. Notice.
Right,
we're good.
All right, I was just going to tell you, you're going to see, when you look, you're going to be like, oh my gosh.
Man, we just started.
Way to go, Logan.
So, was that you or was it a dead person?
I think it was a dead
I
person.
Think
it was Michael Heiser.
It was Michael Heiser.
He started our podcast over again.
He did. So sorry, but I needed to warn you that, that's what just happened.
Okay, so unfortunately, I do remember.
But see, that is very interesting, though, because you're right. As more people pass away, it gets fewer and fewer and fewer, and it becomes more of a reading a book as opposed to the personal experience.
Well, and we just don't. We tend to talk more about what's going on right now. We don't.
Well, didn't used to it was a vocal passing down of history, and that's how they always did it. Yeah. It was like and
it was important. They made a point to do that, and so now we just we order a memory book and put some pictures in it.
Well, I mean, think about it this way: do y'all eat at the dinner table?
Yeah,
we do.
All right, so like we very rarely do at my house.
Yeah.
But growing up, we had to.
Yeah.
And me and my brother, we couldn't talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mom and dad talk.
Yeah.
Like we had to sit there and listen, like we couldn't talk. It was there.
And you had to ask to get up from the table.
That's right. You had to ask me excuse, like, hey, I'm done. Can I get up and go? Blah, blah. And but we see that dynamic, that communication dwindling in America today.
Absolutely.
And I think it's because we're so much busier with today that we don't really care about what's already passed by.
Yeah. Well, no, you see that. I mean, this thing right here is public enemy number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get so frustrated. Like when we go out to eat, we make a point. I mean, at home, we're not on our phones at the table. And then like if we go out to eat, we're not on the phone at our table. Like we might, if we're talking about something and all of a sudden we're like, who was that guy? We might look,
right,
but we don't get on our phone. And my kids never get the phone. And nothing makes me sadder than when I see like a family and they're all on phones, even the kids. Cause I'm like, man, we just have, I mean, it's no telling what kind of random, odd conversations we might have.
I have a picture. It's actually stored in my phone, probably. We were all at my in-laws for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so there's like 25 people there.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of everybody sitting around in a circle, and everyone, including the old folks, are scrolling on their just randomly scrolling.
Yep.
They're not looking at each other. They're not talking. It's like, isn't this a wonderful Christmas celebration? It's like,
yes. I mean, that's where I've noticed that. I take note of that. We'll be like, be it a family get together, and it'll be quiet almost. And then you look and everybody's on their phones, and it's like, man, this sucks.
Yeah,
I agree. So, kind of in bringing it into the the Christian realm.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah, because I'm curious about how that would flow with this.
I kind of am too. Now, we've kind of seen both sides of it. On one side, it's just a happy little celebration, and we're gonna bring Uncle Frank back, and we're gonna get his favorite food, and this will be fun for the kids, and you get some pictures and all that stuff, and this, and by midnight we're home. It's like it's over. It's we're good. We went to the parade, the Day of the Dead parade, and all that kind of stuff. But then on the other hand, you read that story with the journalist taking the pictures.
Something's going on.
It's a little bit sketchy.
Yeah,
honestly.
I kind of think this comes back to the whole intention thing. Like for example, kids at Easter, right? They get a little chocolate bunny Easter basket, and that's all about Jesus, right?
Yeah.
But they go through the motions. But then there's how many powerful things do we see on Easter all the time? People have experiences.
I know.
And I think it comes back to intention.
Yeah.
Oh, it always does. It always does. But also, there is the whole thing about dabbling with something if you don't know
meddling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're if you don't know what you're doing, then dabbling can kind of send you down the wrong rabbit hole.
It's true.
Well, and that's what I think, that I could see where people on this Day of the Dead could not realize that they're dabbling,
right?
Because it's kind of like, well, this is just what we've always done, and like there's no bad intentions in this. It's like they don't view it as opening the door to the potential dark.
But
world.
Here's the deal. What if that whispered your name is not really?
I was gonna say that ain't your uncle. That's some demon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But see, doesn't this come back to Scripture? It says you can't blame them from walking in the dark because they don't know they're walking in the dark.
Well, yeah, but if you're walking in the dark and it leads you down to further darkness,
that's what I was gonna say.
The problem.
That's what I was gonna say is when us as believers, we see that and we're like, hey, that might be dabbling. But other people who don't know the word, they're this is what we've always done.
Yeah, this is no big deal.
And so it's easy to go deeper into the darkness without knowing what the light is.
They're like, that's Dave. He's a demon. He just hangs out with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Demon Dave, man.
Yes.
So here's my first question when it gets into the sort of Christian realm. How do you feel about All Saints Day and All Souls Day? I mean, is it like cool? Is it like okay? I've been at All Saints and All Souls worship services.
Yeah,
and it's very somber, and it's very and they oftentimes will have a list of all the people that died in the last year, and then they'll honor famous people, famous Christian people who've died, and of course with the Catholics, the saints are a big deal.
Yeah,
So they're gonna drill down on those saints, which I'm not so sure about that saint thing.
Well,
anyway.
that's always kind of bothered me, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like, who are you worshiping?
I know.
See, I'm conflicted by that because the only person we worship died but didn't die.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, why are we looking at dead people?
Well, and they got the patron saint of stomach disorders. And it's like. That feels like a pantheon to me.
Yeah.
It's like there's the god of the underworld.
It's like, well, I guess I want a good harvest this year. I better go make a sacrifice to the harvest.
Burn a candle.
Yeah, they got the saint of the shoelaces and the saint of the t-shirts. And
you got to sit down and stand up 47 times in a row.
That's exactly right.
Man, I just don't mess with any of that because, like I said, when we talk about all these dead people and lost spirits and souls and all that, like I said, we worship Jesus, and Jesus died but didn't die.
Yeah,
right.
And so I'm like, why are we? The one person we worship didn't stay dead. And so why are we trying to?
Why are we focusing on dead?
Right.
Yeah.
We're
Death.
focusing on things that quite literally are not Jesus' character.
Yeah. But at the same time, is it necessarily bad to, remember people who have passed on and their legacy? And I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it's remembrance versus worship.
Yeah, that there is a line there. There is
Yeah,
a
because
line.
I think you can reminisce of times with a person and things like that without, worshiping.
Or, go to their gravesite and say a prayer, whatever.
This goes back to the 10 words, right?
Yeah.
No idols.
No idols.
Yeah.
I know.
You know?
Should not worship them.
Like I got my picture of my grandpa back there on the wall.
You're not bowing down to them.
No.
Yeah.
No, y'all didn't walk into a bunch of candles
Yeah.
lined up under there burning.
But and I think that's something we should really harp down on. Is there is a fine line between worship and remembrance.
Yeah.
Because that's true. Like I'm sure, like every one of us loved our parents, and so forth and things like that. Like both of my parents are dead and gone, and like I look back on them, and I'm like, okay, those were my parents, but I'm not like lighting candles to them, and I'm not like saying prayers to them and things like that.
You're not trying to recall them from the dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's where it gets a little weird.
Like I said, and I think that's a fine line.
When the ofrendo, that's an altar.
Yeah.
It's like,
my luck, I'd do that, and then Samuel would appear, and he'd be like, why again?
Why did you leave me alone?
Yeah.
But then it's okay. But then we get to a verse like Hebrews 12:1. We are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In relationship to this, that sounds a little strange too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about in the 100th episode, the fact that at the transfiguration,
Yeah, all the bodies
Moses
appear.
and
Yeah.
Elijah,
Moses and Elijah.
and then when Jesus died,
When he was resurrected, all the spirits of the saints.
Elijah's an interesting one though, because he never even dies.
I know.
So what is he? He's like walking around with a dead guy, and he's like, I'm not even dead.
Look,
not even dead.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
tell you my political answer to that. That's God stuff. And you let God do the God stuff, and we just say, yes, sir.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but then we see, like in the Old Testament, they were very particular about their burial practices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we know that there is evidence from particular grave sites and tombs and things like that they also brought food and flowers and
Absolutely.
other things, thinking that that would assist them somehow or please them somehow.
We see it at Jesus's burial.
Yes.
When they anoint him, when they bring the myrrh and all that to anoint him for his death, we see it there.
I know. And so then, then we see, we went through the 10 words. One of them was honor your father and your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean just while they're still alive?
Well, here you go. Remember you said honor.
Yeah.
Honor. There's a difference between that, not obey.
Right.
It doesn't say obey.
Yeah.
It doesn't say worship. It says honor.
But then, are we supposed to honor them after they're not living anymore?
I think if you can draw that line between honor and worship, sure. If you can't, then maybe you might not want to dabble.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. So now we could get into the whole typical, legalistic. Well, if it doesn't have anything to do with Jesus, then it's evil.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. It's evil. But yet then, we see this, kind of joyful celebration of those who came before us. And we think, well, we could probably use a little dose of that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
there's elements to it I like.
I'll even go even farther than that. If we're going to be this legalistic side, how many of us have pictures of dead people in our house?
Yeah.
Like I have pictures of my grandfather.
Yeah.
Who died years ago.
Right there.
And see, that's a graven image, right?
Yeah.
It's an image of him.
Yeah, but you're not bowing down to
See,
it.
there it is. But legalistic would say I've made an image.
Yeah.
So, Deuteronomy 18, 10 through 12. Somebody read that. Deuteronomy 18, 10 through 12. You read Isaiah 8, 19.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about this on our 100th episode.
Deuteronomy 18 what?
We'll get into 18, 10 through 12.
10 through 12.
Yeah.
Okay. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through fire, one who uses divination, one who practices witchcraft, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who casts a spell, or a medium, or a spiritualist, or one who calls up the dead. For whoever does these things is detestable to the Lord. And because of these detestable things, the Lord your God will drive them out before you.
Calls up the dead. What does yours say?
This is Isaiah 8:19.
That's what it says, yeah.
when they say to you, consult the mediums and the spiritists who whisper and mutter. Should not a people consult their God? Should they consult the dead on behalf of the living?
So there you go. So the point we made the other night is the point we'll make tonight. The Bible prohibits it, not because you can't do it.
Yeah.
Right?
If you couldn't do it,
It wouldn't
then
say
it wouldn't
anything.
even say anything about it.
Yeah, it's
It'd
like
be
that.
like, well, yeah, this dummy's trying to talk to a dead guy. He's dead.
You ever been somewhere and you see like the dumb sign, like "Don't wrestle the bears" or something like that? That sign's there because some idiot did it before.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And that's why
Yeah.
these things are in the Bible.
It's
It's
like
some dummy's done it before.
It's like the warning on the box of suppositories, not for oral use. Because sometime in the
Someone
past.
is-
Somebody's
done
like, man, I got to swallow this horse pill. No, you got to put it somewhere else, babe. It's even worse.
Exactly.
It's true though. The warnings are there for a reason.
I know, and
Yep.
and so, and then there's this, this sort of saying that a lot of these practitioners say. They say, "Well, we don't summon them; they just visit."
But you're there in the visitor center.
Right.
Yeah, I was
Right.
just gonna say
Exactly.
that. It's like saying, I didn't come to see strippers. I just showed up at the club and there happened to be
I
strippers
didn't know
there.
they'd be here. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another intriguing sort of thought. On All Souls Day, if you're a Catholic, it also involves praying for the souls in purgatory. How do we
I've heard
feel about
that.
purgatory?
I've heard that. I would say purgatory is fictional.
I think it is.
Yeah, that's just that's where I fall on it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but Scripture says, "Be absent of the bodies, be present with the Father."
Yep.
And it doesn't say unless you go to purgatory.
And now the Catholics, they wouldn't try to argue. Would they try to argue and say that purgatory is basically where we see in the story where the people in the robes are waiting?
I think there's some of that, but I think there's also possibly something to do with that parable about the rich man and Lazarus and the waiting area and all this stuff. The idea is that, after a certain amount of time that you've done your penance and you get to get out.
Yeah, you're a misdemeanor sinner.
Right, exactly. yeah. And of course, if you've committed mortal sins, you don't even go to purgatory.
You just go to hell.
Fast track.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about praying for souls in purgatory.
I don't either.
That's a little too much for me. So here's the other thing.
How do you know they're in purgatory?
See, that's what I don't know. And how do you know for how long?
Yeah.
Like
I'm like, how do I know that they're in purgatory?
Yeah. What if Uncle Jack just liked to drink a little bit, and then Uncle Jim murdered his wife? So no, Jim's in hell, but Jack's all right.
let's pray for him.
Yeah,
Let's pray for him that'll get out.
yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work?
That just always never really, and that, part when we studied, all the denominations, we studied the Reformation, right?
Yeah.
And they were selling indulgences. Which
That's
meant,
right.
I mean, give me $600 and I'll make sure that your uncle gets
out of there.
early.
Yeah, he can get out,
exactly.
man. Good release.
That's how because we need to build us a temple. We need to build us a basilica or something like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is wild.
Okay, so here's another, kind of interesting question is, okay, so this Day of the Dead is a Christianized pagan practice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just documented, right?
Yeah.
So it comes from the ancient Mesoamerican or Aztec cultures.
Yep.
Clearly a pagan practice, clearly a pantheon of gods, clearly, this whole Mecha, whatever her name is, the goddess of the underworld. I mean, that is not Christian.
Yeah.
But then, you get All Saints Day, All Souls Day, and then you go, it's like, okay, yeah, you can do that too. You can go to the gravesite. It's not, as long as you include some saints in there, as long as you, pray for somebody in purgatory, you're going to be okay. So it's a kind of a blending, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Christmas, winter solstice. We talked about that in a couple of different episodes, and Easter. With the spring festival, Ishtar, and all that kind of stuff. Now,
I feel like one of the differentiations on that though is that even on Christmas, as even all the commercialization that there is, the Christians, we still hold Jesus' birth, like that's the significance of Christianity or of Christmas. I mean, like I feel like that's kind of the main central focus of what it's supposed to be is the birth of Jesus at Christmas, and like at Easter, it's the resurrection of Jesus.
Yeah,
like
all day
I
long.
feel like that's what keeps it kind of separated from like the Day of the Dead, because there's no element to that where they're worshiping God, who is like
Right.
maybe the dead are with. They're
Right.
they're like so I don't know. I feel like that's what kind of separates them.
Also, I kind of feel death is viewed differently through Christianity than through other cultures, is because like we believe in a resurrection, but a complete resurrection.
Yeah.
Not just a resurrection of spirit, but like a fully resurrected mind, body, soul resurrection, glorified bodies, the whole nine. And I think when we see these other belief systems, it kind of goes against that dynamic.
Well, and also think about this. I mean, if your loved one is with Jesus, why in the world would they want to come back?
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you want to pull them from that?
I mean, it's kind of pointless to me at that point.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
Also, we've been through this in Christmas and Easter episodes. Christmas is not a pagan co-opt.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Nor is Easter.
Right.
Now, Christmas we know was, the date was moved to basically to cover up some of these, to say no. We wanted you to celebrate the Christian meaning of this.
Too many spring celebrations. We need some winter ones.
Right. Well, and it's like, let's celebrate the birth of Jesus. Let's plop it right on top of the winter solstice day.
Yeah.
So we can have this, Christian
Hijack
presence.
their day.
That's
right.
exactly right. And same thing with Easter as well, because we know that Easter was used to be celebrated on one particular day, and now it coincides with the spring, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, This little question is interesting too. Is the Day of the Dead different than these other, Christmas and Easter and stuff like that? Because it's more explicitly about spiritual beings returning.
Yes.
I think that's a good question. I think it's a good answer.
Yeah, I do. Because spirits returning, it goes against everything we read in Scripture. I mean, all the way from Saul with the Witch of Endor.
It's exactly what you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, it's like we just read in Deuteronomy. It's like you should not be a sorcerer. You should not be a soothsayer. You should not be these things. And that's like the one thing that is explicit in Scripture is you should not seek these things.
Yeah.
And then when we're like, oh, well, it's just a nice little family holiday or blah, blah, blah. I was like, but it says don't do it.
See, and that's it's funny because I've told y'all on here before, like, man, I got some buddies, but man, we need to go. Like when we were planning one time, like there's this big haunted prison.
Yeah, right.
And we're like, man, we need to go try to see something. And now I'm like, well, I don't know.
I've seen this taken too far. Like I've seen people like have skeletal designs and stuff for a Halloween event and stuff like that. And I've had church members say, no, our kids are not coming to that because it's the Day of the Dead. And we're like, no, it's just a design.
Yeah, just design.
And I've seen people go that far, but I've also seen people say, well, we can completely incorporate everything from the world into our Christian beliefs just because it's part of the world.
Yeah, we don't want to make waves, you know. Let's just,
so
get
I've
on
seen
board.
both sides of that.
I know.
We're going to bring a Ouija board out next Sunday.
It's what we talk about over and over. It comes down to intention. What is your intention? Are you trying to make a cool graphic but keep it Christian? Go for it.
So is there a way, do we think at all, is there a way to have a Christian version of Day of the Dead?
I would say no. I could be wrong, but I would say no.
It would be weird, wouldn't it?
It would be weird. I think you could do a day of remembrance for the dead. Yeah. Like where you just, maybe you have a family over and you just share memories about grandpa.
Yeah.
But and what about if you focused more on thanking God for them?
That's what I'm saying. I think you could do it in the right way, not in the way that they're doing it. Like we're not trying to communicate with the dead.
Yeah.
Like that element of it would be gone. Like there'd be no communication with the dead. We would literally, all right, we're going to all, before we eat, let's have a big prayer and just be grateful for the life that Pawpaw lived.
Yeah. You just hit the nail on the head, as you can do that daily in your prayer.
Yeah. Yep.
Every individual can do that.
But can we have a parade?
Why?
I don't know.
See, I think you could probably have a parade.
You probably could.
All right,
I think like if it's like, all right, your grandpa was really into motorcycles and you got a bunch of buddies, we're just going to bust out some motorcycles.
They do this every Veterans Day and every Memorial Day.
You know what? I was just going to say that. Check this out. Veterans Day. Yeah. I'm not going to a Veterans Day parade. I'm not going to get free pancakes. I'm not going out to get free meals because, for one, I don't want your pity for one day a week. I mean, one day a year. I don't want that. Okay, and second of all, half the people there were air conditioning tech who never deployed, who talk about the NAM days, like they were, people like that that's never seen combat, and they want their free pancakes. By all means, go. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm sorry.
I served my country.
Yes,
darn it.
You served me waffles. Yes. Thank you.
You know, Pat, it's funny you mentioned that because you and several other of my good friends that are combat vets. They're the same way. Like they don't even. They're like and they don't want people to know that they're like combat vets.
That's why I've grown my hair out and stuff. I don't want people to know.
Yeah. Hey guys, in case you didn't know, Pat is a combat vet.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
So Pat, every one of you needs to thank Pat for his service.
Stop it.
And
Stop it.
We want you to bring him a plate of pancakes.
That's it.
I will throw them at you.
And then on that one day, you need to buy his lunch.
That's right.
Yeah. You see him out and about.
Yeah. Hey, Pat will wear his uniform.
No.
He puts it on and prances around at home.
You will not see me out and about on Veterans Day. It won't happen.
Okay. So I got a couple of interesting, closing questions. Okay. So where's the line between remembering the dead and trying to contact them?
Rituals.
Yeah. I mean, rituals and intention, like we've said.
Yeah. I mean, I can go, man, Dad was a good dude. Or I can go, hey, Dad, here's an altar. Here's his candles. Here's these marigolds.
Please.
And I go through all these steps. Yeah, because it becomes intentional at that point.
Yep.
Okay, if your grandmother's favorite food was apple pie, would it be weird or beautiful to bake one on the anniversary of her death and tell stories about her?
I think that's great.
Do I get to eat the apple pie, or do I have to?
No.
Okay, yeah, then I think it's great.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's great.
But what if we put it on an altar?
Then it's wrong. Well, I'm telling you, I don't care what the situation is. If we make an apple pie and I can't eat any of it,
that's a bad situation.
We got a bad problem.
That's right.
That's bad. Okay, so this is kind of an odd question, but I think it's a good one. Does American culture's fear and avoidance of death dishonor the resurrection?
That's interesting. That is an interesting question.
So this question is getting at how we handle grief versus how the Day of the Dead handles grief.
I think it's the pendulum swinging the other way, because the way the Day of the Dead handle it is obviously too far, in my opinion. And the American view, it's no grief, no nothing. Like it happened, tomorrow's a new day, move on. I think that's the exact opposite. It's denial. And
or just let's forget about it as quickly as we can.
Right. And I think that both extremes are wrong.
Yeah.
And I think it's somewhere in the middle, because Ecclesiastes tells us there's a time for everything under the sun, time to mourn, time to weep, time to be joyful. And I think if we are going through all these situations in a prayerful moment, we'll be guided the right way. Some people grieve longer than others. Some people don't.
Yeah.
It's interesting, having done quite a large number of funerals now.
Yeah, you should be an expert.
Well, it's interesting because there are some funerals where they really are rushing through it as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Right.
We just want a 10-minute something. We just want a graveside. We just want to,
some of them are like, we just want to get this over with.
Exactly. Sure. That's exactly right. And then others are like, they're going to sit and stew in it for hours.
Yeah.
And they got, 8-10 songs, and they got, it's like testimonial.
2 hours of testimony. Yeah, people stand up and talk.
Yeah, and then Sister so-and-so is going to get up and say a few words. She's got her whole notebook with her.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, we're going to be here a while.
That's what I know. Like for some people, like in the funeral thing, it's almost like they really can't grieve and get on with the grieving until that's happened.
I know.
And I will say this, like I have done both ends of the spectrum. I have stretched out grief way too long, before.
Yeah, me
and
too.
also I have not actually faced grief
Yeah.
before.
Avoided it.
And both are wrong. Both are very harmful.
They are not helpful. I
Yeah.
completely agree with that. I absolutely
and I
do.
think it's finding an honest spiritual way to deal with that.
Yeah.
That comes in your prayer life.
And I'm going to tell you, it's okay for dudes to feel grief. You know,
it's necessary.
It
honestly.
is.
Yep.
It is. But
like me today with my Mariners. I'm just gonna.
yes, he's still in mourning.
I'm wearing dark clothing.
That's
today.
right.
Yeah.
I was talking to my buddy Riley, and he said, the biggest pressure on men today is that men are not allowed to feel pressure.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. Like, you cannot be emotional. You cannot have problems. You cannot be weak. You cannot have grief. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to pull up your bootstraps every day and go.
And you know, this is a non-helpful sort of view of masculinity that is present in our culture right now.
Absolutely.
And it's just like a throwback to like the 30s.
50s,
you
yeah.
know?
That's why the freaking World War II vets came home and they were so messed up, but they couldn't
Absolutely.
talk about it.
'Cause
They call it, what do they call it? Shell shock.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, and they just literally went to work and then they were like silently dying inside. And it's like, man, I don't know.
Look, a lot of my buddies, I'm not going to say any names, a lot of them, we've come home and it took us a few years to even talk to each other about it.
For sure.
And once we did let the genie out the bottle, we're like, we need to go get some help. We need to go do something. Like, we realized that we were all jacked up, but we were too tough to talk to each other about.
I know.
And
that's also the thing is when you are in a combat situation for any length of time, you can't process it in the moment.
No.
You're just reacting.
No, because you spend, after that moment of combat, you spend the rest of your life trying to not think about it.
That's exactly right.
Trying to shut it off.
But you're also trained to be at your toughest the whole time, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And so you come home with the residue of that.
Yep.
And you think, this is the only way I can be.
And you don't realize that it gets into everything.
Yeah.
Like, it branches out into everything, to your parenting, your marriages, your finances, to everything. It will put its fingers in everything.
Well, I'll tell you something. I had this conversation today with a good friend of mine, and he's about 40. And we were talking about like being sympathetic and having empathy. And because he was kind of saying, maybe there's an element of me that's like I feel almost too empathetic. I feel soft.
Yeah.
And I told him, and this dude is like, he's covered in tattoos. He's a huge guy. Like, he looks like straight out of prison.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, man, I said, actually, I disagree. 10 years ago, the 25-year-old me would have been like, like everything's hard as stone. Like,
suck it up.
Yep, suck it up. And now, like, I consider myself more of a man now than I was then. Mm-hmm. And now I'll watch a movie with the kids and I'll cry. Like,
sissy.
Yeah, like Courageous. Those movies are cheesy.
Yeah.
Courageous. There's a part there where his daughter, spoiler alert, the movie's been out a long time, but spoiler alert, his daughter gets killed and he wouldn't dance with her. Well, then he goes and he dances where she wanted him to dance. Dude, I cry like a baby at that.
See, I was like that with Motley Crue, The Dirt. Did you watch that?
I did. That was
when his daughter had the tumor. Yeah,
yes.
like I was like, I can't watch this.
But like, there's no part of that makes me feel like less of a man, because I honestly think as you get older as a man, you're like, I don't have to prove anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's I am more sympathetic to people now than I used to be, because I'm like, hell, I've learned too. Life is hard.
You got through it a little bit.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But also too, everything's not as offensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, it's like, man, maybe they're having a bad day. I've been there before.
That's I've realized people are going through things.
Yeah.
Completely.
That has nothing to do with you.
Yes.
And some of it, they don't even know what they're going through.
Yeah,
that's right.
No idea.
One of my things I've done, because road rage, I'd get road rage. Now I tell myself, I'm like, that person has to poop real bad. So they're trying to get to where they got to get.
That's me. That's me. I'm usually the one who's got to poop real bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're planning your route.
You already got the belt undone. Yeah.
Exactly.
If I have to pull over, which ditch am I hitting?
Well, and then you go, I know that's a ratchet bathroom, but
it's either there or my pants.
It might be the one.
Do I want to clean it up out of there or out of my vehicle?
Yes.
I know. And I don't know how we got there from Day of the Dead.
I don't either.
But, okay, so here's two more questions, and then we're going to be done. Okay, so do you think the Apostle Paul would set up an ofrenda?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think Paul would tell you that it's not about the offender, but it's about the offender.
I'm offended by the offender.
Yeah,
Yes.
Paul, I'm telling you guys, anytime y'all read the disciple Paul, read it in Stone Cold's voice. It'll change everything. It'll change the whole
But
world.
Paul was lifted up to the third heaven. He saw all the dead people.
Yeah.
He's not going to honor them?
No.
I think you're right.
Because, matter of fact, who lifted him to the third heaven?
Well,
It wasn't his altars. It wasn't his rituals.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. Okay, so final question, and this is a good question for all of us. So please do those rapid fire questions just like you did a couple weeks ago, because that was a lot of fun. Is there anything from Day of the Dead that we should or could adopt as Christians?
Absolutely.
I think the memory, like the remembrance element of it's really, I think that's a really good thing.
I'm going to tell you, like, the artwork.
Yeah.
That's
the
rad.
artwork, man. Because how come we always have blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus, and angels, little fat cherubs?
We need the power Jesus.
Yeah, we need power Jesus. We need some cool imagery, man.
Well, we're working on that. Our Exodus imagery was pretty bad to the bone.
Have you looked at it on the website?
No, you got it on the website?
It's absolute. I'm bringing back the word rad, by the way.
Rad, that's a good word.
It is rad.
But like you read the Ezekiel, your Revelation, any of these imagery that's out there, it's awesome, man.
It is awesome.
Well, I mean, how can you argue?
That's rad.
I mean,
that is rad.
That is.
It just is. Yeah. Got the headdress on and everything.
Yeah. I love them, man. And that's, I've always been frustrated with the like you said, he's Fabio.
Yeah.
Jesus is Fabio.
Blonde hair, blue eyed, very European looking Jesus.
I love it. Like that's the artwork that needs to be out there.
I agree.
And it's biblically accurate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing is we've got it set up now to where you can click on the sermon.
Oh, nice.
The worship service. Yeah.
Nice. So y'all need to check out our website.
It's coming together.
What is the website here?
It's just hollygrovechurch.com.
There you go.
What's really funny about the imagery, right? It's when we read these stories in scripture, right? That it gives us a really powerful image. And then it tells you what it wants us to know. Why is the image in there? To grab your attention.
Yeah.
But yet we're going to say the Exodus, it looks like a swimming pool with a little slip and slide in between. No, it doesn't. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We are finding out a lot of stuff about Exodus that has been under the surface for a long time.
I thought it was always during daytime.
I know.
Messed me up.
No, it was at night.
Messed me up.
Dead of night.
Prince of Egypt, you're a liar.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. And then, you got that pillar of cloud that moves around behind them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yet it shines light on them, but it keeps the enemy in the dark, so that gives them time to cross the sea. That is just...
It's mind-blowing.
It's rad.
It is rad.
It is rad as a mug.
It is definitely rad.
Yeah. And boy, we're going to get into it this week. I was going to skip over this chapter, and I read it again. It's like, I can't skip over this.
Yeah.
I can't do it. There are 74 of them that get to go halfway up the mountain and have a meal with God.
Okay.
Yeah. Bet you didn't know that was in there.
I did not.
No. And then Moses comes back and sprinkles blood over all the people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Not a paper cut.
So now you got blood on you. Yeah. There you go.
Guys, we want to hear from y'all. We said on there, give us your rapid fire question. You don't know how much we enjoyed those questions.
Oh, it was
great.
Yeah.
It was great.
And I know there's more.
And it doesn't always have to do with whatever our content is.
Yeah, if you just have a question.
Random question.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. Do dogs go to heaven?
Yep.
We
the
could talk about
cartoon
that.
says they do.
I know. And so did the movie.
Yeah.
That was Burt Reynolds.
Right.
Yeah, it was. Boy, I would probably cry in that one. You guys do that. Shoot us your questions. Go on to Apple, Spotify.
Yep.
Leave us 5-star ratings.
Yep.
And I guess.
And I'd be interested to know what movie makes you instantly cry.
My Girl.
Oh, he doesn't have his glasses.
Where's his glasses?
Where's his glasses? Yeah.
My Girl.
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Dog movies, they're bad.
Brian's Song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Brian, yeah.
My wife watched Braveheart for the first time the other night.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Mm-hmm.
How has she made it this far in life and just now seeing Braveheart?
I don't know, but she was into it like
I've seen
jumping
Braveheart.
spot.
Braveheart is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I know I've told y'all, but that song was played in our wedding
Yeah.
when Marcy and I got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's rad.
It is rad.
It's rad.
It's rad. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you next week.
You are rad.